Today guys, we're going to be diving into why right now is the best time to step up your game and go pro in Fortnite. With trios making a comeback, Siphon returning in an $8 million prize pool for next year, the competitive scene is about to get serious. So if you're looking to level up and actually make a career out of Fortnite, this is the moment to get ahead, and let's break all of it down in this video. First up guys, trios is returning, which means that it's time to start thinking about your team dynamics. This means that you're going to want to focus on the classical roles of trios that have worked for years. That's going to be IGL, which is the in-game leader, the support, which is going to be the support player, and then the fragger, who's the person responsible for getting eliminations. But keep in mind that it has been a long time since trios was our last main game mode, and things are evolving. In some teams, you may see players responsible for switching between roles based upon the situation. Maybe all three players are going to be taking on IGL responsibilities or fragging out when needed. It's all about adaptability. Basically, what this is going to mean is that pro players and the casual players in general are going to be more adaptable and more fluid between these roles. So the roles are going to be less defined in this trios meta than they were in, let's say, the past trios meta. Another big change is going to be to prepare for the map. With trios, you're going to need more resources, so expect a lot more drop spot contests and splits. Obviously, the new map will be different next year when trios is the main game mode, but the concept stays the same. Get comfortable with your landing zones, practice in scrims, and refine your strategy when you're landing at these drop spots. For example, if you're contested at, let's say, a small POI, something like the size of restored reels, know exactly where you and your team are going to land, how you guys are going to rotate around the POI and get loot as quick as possible, and then whether or not you're going to take the fight with the enemy players that are landing on you, or if you're going to disengage and try to stay alive for longer in the game. Regardless, now is the time to find your trio partners and try to build that chemistry. The squads that put in the time now will have a massive advantage when the competition kicks off, because their chemistry will be way better than everybody who's scattering to find a trio partner then. The main thing for this, guys, is to focus on the trios meta, and this adaptability of trios is going to be crucial, and it's a really good game mode for you guys to go pro. It's my personal favorite competitive game mode. I know some people prefer duos more, but I prefer trios more just because of the storylines that it creates in competitive. Now guys, the second thing is going to be that Siphon is making a return. And for those who don't know, it's a mechanic that rewards you with health and shields after getting eliminations. This is going to make fights a lot more aggressive and encourage more third-party plays. Basically what this means, guys, is that if people are going to be going for fights and stuff, they know that as they eliminate players more and more, they're going to get that some health and some of those materials back, so it'll encourage them to try to go for higher W key games. Siphon was pretty much a staple throughout all of Chapter 2 and Chapter 3, so what this basically means, guys, is that it's going to be a crucial aspect for competitive play regarding W keying. To get ready for this, you and your trio need to focus on combat practice. Spend time grinding in zone wars, realistics, and ranked, because the ability to take and win fights quickly will be crucial. With Siphon, every fight becomes a chance to gain an advantage. So make sure you're confident in those high pressure situations, make sure you know how your team communicates with one another, and make sure you guys know how each other play. I personally believe that this is going to be one of the best changes. Obviously, Siphon will be experimented with. They're not bringing him back in the form that it was in before. They're going to experiment with that form and some other ones maybe, and they're going to find sort of a middle ground that they enjoy and that we also enjoy for Siphon. I personally believe this is going to be the biggest change to competitive in the way that it's going to be played. It's going to encourage a lot more fights. Players are going to have to adapt and improve on their fighting skills, and they can't just rely on passive gameplay. Also, during the endgame, this is going to be a serious make or break deal for how you guys are going to be playing and fighting, because what you guys need to understand is that Siphon in the endgame is crucial. It gives you health, shields, and materials during the endgame, which are the three most important resources you guys are going to need. That's why I think Siphon will change all aspects of the game, but especially endgame. Now guys, the third aspect is going to be the $8 million prize pool that got announced. This is serious business because now we need to talk about what's at stake. Fortnite's prize pool for next year is set at, once again, a massive $8 million cap, and that's a serious amount of money. If you're grinding to go pro, this is the time to lock in and put in the work. As you guys can see, this year it was $7.8 million for the prize pool. However, next year it's going to be $8 million. It isn't a crazy increase. However, I personally believe that they're going to distribute it a lot better, and it's actually going to be really beneficial for you guys in the cash cups, in the FNCS, pretty much all of that information. And once again, the similar format for trios is going to be this. It's going to be the major FNCSs, and then it's going to be the grand championship at the end of the year. In my opinion, that's a great format that we should stick to for the years to come. If you're aiming to earn a share of that $8 million prize pool, you cannot slack off. There's a lot of money on the line, but more importantly, it's a chance to prove yourself on the biggest stage, and the grind starts now, guys. But of course, looking ahead, you've still got time to improve before those big tournaments start next year. Between the rest of this season and the cash cups remaining, and the OG season that was promised to us at the end of this year, there's still plenty of time and room to polish your skills, and this is where you should be focusing on. Mechanics, which is going to be aim, building, editing, the standard mechanics. And then fundamentals. This is going to be stuff like game sense, positioning, rotations, pathing, all of those sort of things you guys should watch for. You should VOD review with them, you should practice them in scrims, master them, and make sure you guys adapt them to you and your trio that you guys hopefully find. And the more work you put into these aspects of the game right now, the better prepared you'll be for next year's competition. A bunch of players will go in the off season and they'll take a break. Some people think that it's beneficial for you, but me personally, I believe you should keep grinding no matter what. Think about it this way, guys. If you keep working to your own goals, which are going to be to improve mechanically and in the game sense category, you guys are going to need to be grinding constantly. You need to be doing that extra work that the other players aren't. And that's how you guys are truthfully going to improve and do well and hopefully go pro at this time, which in my opinion is some of the best time we have had to go pro in competitive Fortnite. Alright guys, that's it for today, but Trios is coming back, Siphon is returning, and the prize pool is bigger at an $8 million cap. If you're serious about going pro, there's no time better than now to get started. Make sure you're grinding, finding the right teammates, and putting in the hours. If you enjoyed this video, consider dropping a like and subscribing to the channel down below. But that's about it for this video, guys. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye, guys.